My name is Hawthorne, L. Pedemonte III, Master of Ceremonies, Ringmaster and Storyteller. And this is Don't Freak Out.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
In the heart of the city stood a morgue, a realm where the boundaries between life and death blurred. This haven of the departed was overseen by a young mortician, a woman of rare intelligence and an enigmatic aura. Her deep connection to the dead, more profound than mere professional dedication, had always guided her, leading her to embrace a career in mortuary science. Within the morgue's cold and sterile halls, secrets whispered in silent corridors, resonating in the chambers where the departed lay. The mortician had transformed this place into a refuge of eerie beauty, where rooms bathed in soft, ethereal light created an atmosphere that was both comforting and unsettling, a testimony to her unique understanding of death and its transient beauty. "I've always felt more at home among the silent," she would whisper to herself as she moved gracefully through the rooms. Her sanctuary, where she could assume an authentic form, free from the prying eyes of the world. To the outside world, she was a master of her craft, a professional harboring a profound secret known only to her and them, those shadows gazing with muted observation in the hidden corners of the morgue. This secret was her retreat, a place of solace and curse, a dark aspect of her being concealed behind a facade of normalcy, a depth of her that remained unexplored, yet ever present in her solitary dance with the silent ones. Seemingly out of the blue, the morgue received an unusual visitor, a painter with a gentle demeanor and an artistic soul. He had been commissioned to create a series of artworks to commemorate the lives of those who had passed, a project that brought him to the heart of the city, to the morgue overseen by the young mortician. Drawn to her mysterious aura and the ethereal beauty of the morgue that she had crafted, he found himself visiting more frequently, each encounter pulling him deeper into the enigmatic world she inhabited. The painter became captivated, not just by the halls bathed in a soft, painterly glow, but by the mortician herself, her grace and the quiet fortitude that seemed to resonate with the muted parties in her care. In the growing twilight of their relationship, the painter and the mortician danced around the secrets that lay buried deep within. Their meetings were filled with words and glances that both hid and showed her mysterious nature. "There's a depth in your eyes, a story waiting to be told," he would say, his brush dancing across the canvas, trying to unravel the mystery that was her. Throughout their growing acquaintance, the mortician skillfully maintained a facade of normalcy by way of diversion. She would sometimes invite the painter to public places, but always at the same time of day. She nurtured a small garden at the back of the morgue, a vibrant oasis that stood in stark contrast to what she knew of herself. It served as a symbol, perhaps of a yearning for something, a sliver of hope to once again have what once was. It was during this particular visit about the garden that the painter looked around at the dimly lit surroundings and said, "You have a way of making the night beautiful, but deafeningly quiet at times, but always pleasant and peaceful." She smiled, her voice a soft melody carrying the burdening weight of depth. "The night has always been a refuge for me, a time when the world slows down enough to hear one's own thoughts," she said. "True, but why always the evening?" he asked. He noticed her preference for the twilight hours and asked as if piecing together a puzzle. "Is there something about the daylight that you find unsettling?" he questioned. She paused, choosing her words carefully. "I find the daylight too harsh, too unforgiving," she replied, her voice maintaining its soft, melodic tone, yet carrying a hint of finality, as if closing a chapter of unspoken questions. As their relationship deepened, the garden, vibrant with life, served not only as a safe haven, but also as a dynamic stage and backdrop for their growing affection, the mounting tension, and the Mortician's unspoken dilemmas and desires that threatened to engulf them both. At this time, the city was abuzz with the news of a missing person, someone the painter had known, albeit not very closely. The atmosphere in the city became tense, and the Mortician felt a growing unease, a shadow that seemed to hang over them, adding a layer of complexity to their relationship. During one of their engagements, a sudden shift occurred, a ripple in the smooth flow of their interactions. The Mortician spotted an object, a personal belonging of the missing individual, lying conspicuously in the open. With a surge of cold realization, she managed to divert his attention just in time, a move that saved her secret, yet introduced a new, unspoken tension between them. Holding her close, "You're always so distant, like you're holding a part of yourself back," he said sternly. The words echoed with a painful truth, a reflection of the growing chasm that threatened to swallow the tender bond they had fostered. She pushed away and ran. He followed. The chase led them to the hidden chamber of the morgue. It was here, amongst fellow abominations, that the horrifying truth came to light. "What is this place?" he asked. His voice trembled as he took in the sights before him. "What you see before you is who I am, what we are. Descendants of Dracul and Nesufuratu. They say we are unnatural beings of the night." Tears welling in her eyes as she revealed the depth of her secret, the true nature of her being. In a heart-wrenching climax, a whirlpool of emotions engulfed them, a tragic dance of love and fear that ended with the Mortician succumbing to her dark nature. The room bore the signs of a fierce struggle, with overturned furniture and shattered glass painting a picture of desperation and fear. As she stood amidst the chaos, a horrifying realization dawned upon her. Had he seen the object, or was it her own paranoia that had driven her to this point? What is clear is that the answer remained elusive, lost in the whirlpool of emotions and tragic events that unfolded. "I didn't want this for you," she whispered, her voice breaking as she stood amidst the remnants of a love lost, her heart torn between the darkness within and the love that had blossomed in the most unlikely of places. In the chilling aftermath, she stood alone, the harsh reality of her actions laid bare in the stark, unforgiving light that filtered through the broken windows. In the center of the chaos lay the painter, his lifeless body a tragic canvas of their final confrontation. His skin bore the marks of her true nature, a tapestry of love and horror, intertwined in the most tragic way. The room echoed with the silent screams of realization, the final notes of their tragic symphony resonating in the cold, sterile air.
"I didn't want this for you."
Thanks for listening, everyone. It's been fun making this short story, and we hope you enjoyed it. Come back and visit us if you like, as short stories are our passion. A bit of advice before you go. When it becomes clear that your instincts were correct, that something dark is happening, whatever you do, don't freak out.